Morning, guys. We're in the Airbnb. Had a great sleep. It's currently 6:30, so I need to get on the road right away because today's actually gonna be longer. According to my GPS, it's 287 kilometers instead of 276. But then that's gonna be a rest day afterwards because I'm visiting my aunt. This is the Airbnb that I was at. Very good because mainly there was no heat wave, so I was able to sleep well. There's the bed. That's a nice fan. They had free freezies in the fridge, and look how many I ate. That was insane. And then, nice little shower. Really nice water pressure on that shower. So shout out to Carol, who's the Airbnb hostess. And let's get on the road. Let's go. All right, guys. Good morning again. And it's probably now closer to 7 p.m. So I've been on the road for like 30 minutes. And great news is that I didn't get lost getting out of the city, which is honestly really important because that's how you start the day. And since these routes are signed, you just have to follow the signs. But obviously from the Airbnb, there are no like official Eurovelo signs. So you just need to get to like the first destination and then just go into autopilot mode, which is now what I am going to do. That's the Loire River. So I guess we're following the Loire now. This is like the fifth I think this is like the fifth waterway that we're following this trip, which is awesome. And Oh, another thing is that it's so like cool outside. Like if it wasn't for like all of these 40-degree heat waves, I think it would feel normal because it's 22 degrees. But I think now that my body is like adapted to 40-degree weather, it like feels kind of chilly. Like I'm obviously not cold, but it's definitely like a brisk weather. So like I really love this right now. So honestly right now it's just gonna be heads down, make as much progress while the conditions are ideal. And also I'm like not incredibly, but my body requires food right now because I of course got back to the Airbnb at around 9:45 p.m. yesterday, and the supermarkets were all closed. So now it's 7 a.m. and they open earliest like 8:30. And then I also have to be somewhere where there is one, which on this path like isn't never, but like right when it's 8 a.m. I probably won't be in the city to get some food. But yeah, bike for an hour. At that point my body will probably be quite hungry, and like I will be required to eat unless I want to crash. And then once I eat, then it'll just be entering into the rhythm of biking for like 3 hours, fill up water, eat, and then continue. So let's do it. All right, guys, great progress so far. Intermarché hooking it up, sponsoring the tour here. What we got here, some aged cheese, 18 months or something like that. Pork chops, a nice fresh baguette, and some bananas too for the route. Gonna munch this and then get on the route. So far, good progress, but need to eat this fast and then get on the way. All right, guys, I don't know if I've ever been that close to a nuclear power plant before, but there's one just behind us. I picked the worst time to record though because now the trees are in the way, but oh no, you can see it still really well. So yeah, we're really close. There's 2 chutes. I think that means that there's 2 reactor cores, but I'm not entirely sure. In any case, since we're on the Loire River, it makes sense that there's power plants, since it seems that most all, if not all of the power plants in France are along rivers, since you need access to like fresh/cold water in order to essentially boil the water to create or to generate electricity. And yeah, it was cool. And my Airbnb that I stayed in like 3 days ago, one of the guys that was also there, he was a nuclear power technician, so like repairing the pipes and this type of stuff for nuclear power plants. And he's explaining to me how like sometimes the nuclear police is what they're called, who like check that everything is in order. If they see something that is not under specification, they'll shut down the plant until it's fixed. And according to him, it costs the company which runs this plant, which is EDF or Électricité de France, I'm not sure if it's all the plants, but at least this one is, $1.5 million a day, every day that they're not able to generate electricity. So high stakes, and yeah, it's cool that France has so much nuclear. If you compare it to other countries like Germany, it's night and day. All right, guys, you just saw those Olympic rings on the path. If you didn't, you can rewind back a few seconds. But of course, I'm still heading towards Paris. I've got to be like 120, 140 kilometers away still. But on this path that I'm on, there are these, the Olympic rings, and then also these signs that say Terre des Jeux, or like land of the games. So clearly there was an event that happened here. I'm not sure which event it was, and I don't even know what this canal is called, but that's cool. First of all, and it's just interesting that there were events here for the Olympics despite like not being in Paris at all.
Slight left turn onto the path.
So you guys can see behind me, I think that's the center of the city that I'm in, called Montagnes or whatever. Lots of beautiful pink flowers there behind me. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear the honking. That's what the French people are known best for, protesting. So I guess there's some protest happening there, or maybe they're on strike. All right, guys, break number 2 today. 3 ice cream, Magnum ice creams, sandwich, protein shake, and fill up the water bottles, and then I have the gummies for my last stop. So this is taking too long, but gonna quickly eat the ice cream and then just save the rest for on the way. What's up, guys? We're getting closer to Paris, and I thought I was at the Palace of Versailles for a second, but I'm actually at the Chateau de Fontainebleau, so I'll show you guys right now. So there you guys go, that's the chateau, and it's not the Chateau du Palais de Versailles, but instead I'm in Fontainebleau, which I guess is Blue Fountain, and this is the chateau, which seems to be quite a big tourist attraction since there are a lot of tourist bus. And in general, this is a very pleasant town. I'm very surprised that I've never heard of it. And that's the continuation of the castle. Hi guys, I'm in Paris, and it's a shit show. It smells like diesel, everybody's honking. I'm actually in Villeneuve-Saint-Georges, wherever that is. There's also like this one street where like there's this man with no shirt on fighting. So as I was saying, my light just turned green, so I had to cut it off to actually cross the road. But there's this shirtless man that was quite crazy, and he was yelling at this woman saying, return my card, return my card. And then another person just told me to turn around and go the other way. So I did that because I was kind of scared.
Proceed to the route.
But then I had to take another, like a detour, and now it's just like a lot of traffic. So I'm along this Seine River now.
In 800 meters, so take a slight left turn onto Avenue de Choisy.
This river, there'll be less traffic, but I'm not entirely sure. And then otherwise, yeah, there was this one part of the road where I was just literally in the forest, and it was so bad. Hi guys, finally arrived at my aunt's house. It's incredibly frustrating because Apple Maps, I put in her name, which has her address, so I put in her name and I said go. It brought me somewhere that was 3 kilometers away from the actual station, but now I'm here in front of her house. I just want to show you, it's kind of funny. It's like 11:30 p.m. and everybody here is just watching the World Cup. And like this was in every neighborhood. I didn't stop for each one. Oh, I think it's because France is playing, so it makes sense. I don't know what team they're playing, but holy crap. Look, everybody's watching the game. It's awesome. I think it just started as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep though. I don't care about soccer.